Hello everyone, this is Adnan with Canvas Training Videos. In this video series, we are going through Exchange Server 2012 training. This is part 4 of this video series. In this video, I'm going to show you understanding Mailbox. In part 3, we went through address list, and there were a few other options that I needed to discuss based on the start of the video, but then I decided to go with the flow. Whatever options are coming in Exchange, I'm gonna make videos based on those options. So video part 3 was about address list. There was a practice lesson that was given to you as a student, so please complete those. And in this video we're gonna understand what mailbox databases are, overview of the ESE database, because these databases are based on ESE, and ESE stands for Extensible Storage Engine. So all these databases are based on ESE, and we're gonna find out how does it work, and then we're going to create, configure, manage new databases. We're going to see what is mount, dismount databases, and how to move database, what are the database maintenance. We're also going to talk about circular logging and storage limits. Let's get started. So in this video, in the last video, we worked here on address list, and we created this address list. We also created one offline address list as well, and in this video we're going to go with databases. So first of all, whenever you install your first Exchange server with a mailbox server role, a default database is created for us. This is a database that I created later, but by default you would find these random numbered databases. So basically this was the default database that was created on this server, this is created on this server, this is created on this server. And if you want to verify, you can just go on to the other servers. You would find exactly the same configuration showing you which databases are there. So the first thing is that whenever we create databases in any environment, most of the time databases will be named properly, and what we do is, instead of using these databases, we create our own databases. So we're going to create our own databases so that we can understand which database is for who. Now in Exchange, the main idea here is mailboxes are sitting in this database, and when the user connects to Outlook, when the user is connected to Outlook, the user basically logs into his own particular mailbox. Now this is user administrator at canvas.pri. His mailbox is sitting in somewhere in this database. So the very first thing is that let's find out that where is this user's mailbox. So first of all, we can see that his mailbox is sitting in one of these databases. And how do you know? So let's jump on to recipient. All user settings are here. We can go to mailbox, and here I can see administrator account. So basically this is the user who's logged in here. This is that user. So in order to find out where is his mailbox sitting, now it should be within this, but here all we need to do is we need to add some more columns. So if I right click here, anywhere in this white space, and then I can say view and say add remove columns. Within add remove columns, I can say okay, add the database, add users department, add users email. Actually the email is right here, but let me add it anyways. And then you can add many other things. So what this does, this will add more attributes for each user. Now first of all, this is showing me that administrator account's mailbox is basically sitting in this database 737, that is ending with this. So that's another reason why we need to name them properly, because this is difficult to find out which database is sitting on which server. But for now we know that this user is sitting in this database, and this database is sitting on which server. So this is 77735 is sitting on server 1. Now we know that administrator is sitting on this server. this mailbox is sitting on this server, and anything goes wrong with this mailbox, user won't be able to connect to the to his mailbox. Now let's check this out. So when the database is healthy and it is working, it is set to be mounted. So this is set to be mounted, and here I can see it is mounted. It is mounted. This is the database that we are seeing, and it is mounted. And even here I can see, if I go to home, or if I go to send and receive and I say send and receive, it works. And when I try to see that if this database and mailbox is fine, I can create a mail for this myself here. I can say I'm sending a test message to myself, test, and then as soon as I send the message, in few moments automatically message will appear here, and message, which means exchange is working. Now this is a healthy database. What is unhealthy database? Unhealthy database is you right click on this and I would say dismount. Now dismount simply means that it will take down the database. So in few moments you would see that this database is dismounted. This database is not working. So let's go back here again, and this time you see that it is disconnected, number one. The second indication is when you send and receive, it is failing now. It's saying okay. So basically it's just asking me username and password, although username and password is correct, asking me username and password, but it's not doing anything. Now let's do the third test for email myself again, sending an email. Let's say test2 while db is dismounted or down or crashed, and send this email. Now in this case the email is being sent, and here it is not being, so I tried to do something but I never received that email. Now where is that email? So it is sitting here in the outbox. So if I see the outbox, this is the email where it is sitting, and it is constantly trying to resend that email again and again. It's sitting. So once, if your Exchange server is not okay, not connected, then your emails are sitting in outbox, and outbox will keep on retrying to find the mailbox, and as long as it is down, it will never be sent out. Now let me go back to the database here, and in this I'll just right click and mount the database. Mount means start the database. Soon as it is mounted, and I'll go back here, you will find it. Soon as it tries again, and it will be able to send that message. So it is trying. Let's say it is connected to Exchange now. That database is mounted, and let it try again. Or if it doesn't try, then what we can do is we can just say send and receive. Now this time email is sent, and few moments you should be able to receive, because we sent it to ourselves. This email will be received here on this mailbox, and we just received it. So this is the email. So this was to show you what is mount and dismount. Dismount means database is not working. Mount means database is working. So it is very, very important as Exchange admin to make sure that your databases are working. If they're not working, there will be many, many, many angry users after you. So you better keep an eye on this. So first is this. Now the second thing what we need to understand is, so this is mount and dismount. If database is dismount, mailboxes won't work. Second thing, let's go to properties of this database. Now within the database properties, let's see, first thing is that where is this database sitting? This database sitting in this path. Now this is the path where the real database is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy, so it is in C, program files, Microsoft Exchange, V14, and in this there is a folder, and actually this is the file. This is the file that is basically main database file, and I'm going to go into more detail why this is like this and what other files, but for now let's go to this path. So I'm going to select from the folder here, So remember to leave out the file name and just select this complete folder, copy, and then just put it here, open run, and put it here, and you will see that you're in this folder now. So in this folder, this is your complete this database folder. If I go just one more level up, here I can see you can see mailboxes. In this mailboxes, you can see the databases that it has. So in this databases, there is one database that we're working with, and this database has numerous files. So there are many of these are called transaction log files with these weird numbers, and now these files, then there is one EDB file. EDB file is the main database file. If this file is gone, your database is gone. Now there is temp.edb. This is exactly like this file, a database file, but since it is temp, this only works if this is down temporarily. If this is not working, all your emails will be saved here. Once this comes back, all emails from here will be sent here. And then there are some reserved files. So there are 10 these JRS or reserved files. Now these files will work. These files will be used to store information if in case of if Exchange is crashing. So while crashing, it will try to save everything that is in the memory in these files, so that the next time when it comes, you can retrieve some information from here. Almost useless nowadays. Why? Because this is only 10 MB, so 1 MB each. 10 MB nowadays. Your Exchange servers will have anywhere from 16 gigs to up more RAM. So this doesn't even fit the crash. Anyways, you have these reserved files. And then you have one checkpoint file. Checkpoint file keeps track of which transaction log file is being committed successfully, which was committed successfully. Now this checkpoint file will keep a log of which transaction log file. Now, what is transaction log file? So transaction log file, let me see if I can find something here just to show you. I'm gonna say Exchange. Exchange 2010. Here I'm gonna say EDB and EDB file and CHK file and log file. Let's see what can we found. So we can find here images. Within images, I wanted to show you is their flow. How do they flow information? There are many actually images in this regard. Maybe this one. So this is EDB file. This is your database. This is e00.log file, a checkpoint file. Okay, so this is your Exchange server, and what happens is in Exchange server you have a database. So whenever messages are being sent to Exchange server, they're supposed to directly go into this database. That is your EDB file. Now what happens is just the way ESE works, as soon as the message is received on Exchange server, goes into the memory for memory and in a transaction log files. Then as soon as the message is complete, error-free, cleaned, then the message will be written in the database. So in my classes I've explained that in greater detail, but this is just to give you an overview that these all files are required. So messages are sent to transaction log files, and from transaction log file they're sent to the database. Now if you ask me why they are not directly writing to database, so this is just a matter of just a way to purify these messages, or make sure these all information that are supposed to go to the database is clean, error free, and is ready to be saved in the database. Now in here, so this is your database. Now in other words, everything that you see in this folder is very important for Exchange. So we normally make sure that we don't lose this information, especially this database or these transaction log files. Now later on we're gonna see that we're gonna keep this in a different folder, in a different drive altogether, and transaction log in a different drive. So this is basically, for now you need to know where is the mailbox database sitting. The mailbox database is sitting in this location, and how do we find out? We go to properties of a database. From here we can find out. Secondly, we have the status of the database mounted. It is mounted, and then it is sitting on this server. And it is sitting on this server. It is master type. It's not a copy, it's the real database. Now in maintenance we can see there is general mailbox. This general mailbox is used if I say that this account is configured as general recipient. Now if you configure this, a copy of all emails, so copy of all emails that are sent to this database will be a copy of all those emails will be sent to this account. So in other words, you can think of this as this account is spying over all the mailboxes inside this. Now this could be company's policy, maybe it could be due to any reason where company wants to keep track of what messages are being received in this database. Now if again whatever is mailbox is configured, this person, so let's say this person is any other person, so Nasir Shah, so this person will be receiving a copy of from all the emails that are sent to this mailbox database. And you should know that this is a database, this might have hundreds of users inside. So this is one thing. Secondly, it runs a daily maintenance task from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. So servers will run, so it's going to run a maintenance task right now here in 6 minutes. So it will run, and that task will run from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Now what is included in this task? This task will include online defragmentation of this database. It will clean up deleted records. It will apply retention policies. So basically it will do a cleanup. It will automatically run some maintenance task. Now you can schedule this time as well. You can change this time. For now it is set to 1 to 5. You can add more timing as well. That it should run from 1 to next day till 4 o'clock. So you can change that as well. Now and then other than this maintenance schedule, you can configure Exchange to do online maintenance 24/7. So this will do online maintenance. Now this online maintenance is required for large databases, where you have large database and you cannot take them down for offline defragmentation. You can just set up online maintenance. So this will enable background database maintenance. It will just keep on doing some cleanup, some defragmentation of this database. And this is, don't mount the database at startup. If for some reason you you're restarting the server, you're restarting the database, or the server is starting, you can just check this option and say no, don't mount this database. Now this could be due to you're doing some maintenance and your server needs to restart, but you don't want to mount the database. So by default, whenever your server starts, it will start mounting all the databases. So you're just keeping it not mounted because you're doing some maintenance. Once that is done, you will uncheck this and mount the database or restart, and with the next restart all database will be mounted. And this option is, this database can be overwritten by restore. So this is used when you need to restore your database. If you don't use this, then it won't be able to restore, overwrite your existing database. So you're restoring it from backup. This last option is enable circular logging. If you enable this option, then Exchange will not be creating many transaction log files. So as we saw earlier, if we go to this location where our databases is, So our databases are sitting here, in here, in here, and here within Mailbox. So here, these are all transaction log files. As you can see, these are all and each log is 1 MB in size. And actually, this is all the messages that are being received, sent to the Exchange database. And these are all the messages. Now, this is, for one thing, it is taking up space on your disk as well. Let's see how much space these transaction log files have taken so far. I can select this and tell this it has taken space of 153 MB just in few days, and we don't have so many accounts in here. In real environment you might have thousands of accounts in one database or in one server, so you can imagine how many logs will be created. But then these logs are very, very important. We cannot just delete them like this. They'll be, when you back up, then they'll be automatically committed to Exchange server. That's another thing. I'm gonna go through that later. But for now, we are looking at this option, and that option is circular logging. If you enable this option, for now this is not enabled. If you enable this option, what happens is that Exchange will not create more than 4 logs. So it will create 1 log, second, third, and fourth. After fourth, when it needs to create this 5th log, it will again start overwriting 1. So 5th will go right here, 4 and 6, and then again next one will start here. So in other words, it's automatically cleaning up logs, and it's just creating 4 logs and just keep on overwriting them. So you can see that this will save disk space, but guys, this is only used in emergency purposes where you don't have disk space and you want your Exchange server to keep on running by working with only 4 logs at all time. The disadvantage is if you do this option, then you don't have any historical logs sitting in your drive. Why would you need historical logs? Why would you need all these logs? Guys, if at any point in time, if your EDB file is deleted, crashed, your Exchange database is not working anymore, what you can do, which is this file, if this is not working anymore, we can completely rebuild this as long as you have all these transaction log files. Because if you remember, so all the data first come here, and it's just keep on going. Once the message is complete, then the completed message will be written here, and then like this. So basically whatever is sitting in this is sitting in all these transaction log files. We must clean these log files from time to time, but by running backups, when you dismount a disk, when you dismount a database, it will commit. So before dismounting, what happens is all the uncommitted log files that are not written to this database will be committed. So once you dismount the database, take down the database, you can delete these log files because they're all committed. So guys, what is the best practice about enable circular logging? Don't enable it unless you have emergency. Next, you have a very important option about this database. Remember, we are looking at this database. This database, you're saying that the user will start getting warning message if their mailbox size reaches about 2 GB, so 1.9 GB. And as soon as their mailbox size, meaning this mailbox, so in this inbox I have only few messages. This may be few KBs. This is a very small mailbox. But in environments when you have so many emails sitting in this mailbox, it can easily reach up to in gigs size. So as soon as the mailbox reaches, any mailbox reaches 1.9 GB, then they will get a warning that they need to their mailbox is reached to this size. And if they don't clean that up, then they won't be able to send any email out after when their mailbox size is 2 GB, and they'll be prohibited from send and receive if their mailbox size reaches 2.3 GB. Now this all limitations is to keep the mailbox database size in controllable limits. If you don't control this limit, then users mailbox will be huge, and you're going to need more space on the disks on your servers or in SAN, and that will be very expensive. So all organizations have such policies to limit the mailbox size by this. You can have these limits on users as well, and we'll check that out later, but this is overall this database limit. Here you have warning message interval, run daily at 1 a.m. At 1 a.m. All users will be start getting these warning messages whoever's mailbox size reach 1.9 or more than reach this size or more. Now right here, deletion settings. Here it says keep deleted items for 14 days. It's saying keep deleted items for 30 days. Now this simply means is now basically this is your deletion or retention policy for all the mailboxes within this database. It's just simply saying that if user have anything in the deleted items, which is here, if user has anything, and if it is more than 14 days old, it will be permanently deleted. So that's all what it is saying. You can increase it, you can say no, let's keep it for 30 days. So if you say 30, then user's mailbox will be keeping items in deleted items for 30 days. For 30 days for this database, so you changed it. And same thing goes for if you delete any mailbox from this database. It will be kept in database for 30 days. After 30 days, it will be permanently deleted. So, and then you can do this for the safe side as well. You're saying no, don't delete if you're not taken backup. We're saying don't permanently delete items until database has been updated, backed up. So in other words, if you have never backed up your database, then this retention policy cannot do anything. It won't clean that up. And if you do this, then regardless of it is taken backup or not, it would just apply this policy. Last setting is client setting. Here is some public folder, offline address book. Now public folder are not used in Exchange 2010. They are here just for backward compatibility. And here is the place where you can assign offline address book. Remember in the last training, in the last video, we created this offline address book. This address book that we added can be added now here to this database. So for this database users, if you need to give them a offline address book, you can browse. And remember, we created this offline address book, and you're saying that even though they're not connected, they will still be able to cache this address book in their machines and can work with this. So here you apply it and close it. So guys, this is about databases. I'm already half an hour here, and in the same video I'll take a few more minutes here again, and I'll show you. So it's just taking a few minutes here, and I want to show you how to create a database and what is the best practice to create a new database. So here, offline address book. Now in this, let's create a new database. This is existing database, and then you can dismount the database. You can move that database as well. Let's say you want to move it to another location. If you want to move it to another location, all you need to do is run this, and then you need to change this path. For example, you need to move it from here to E drive. Here you must have a E drive, and you must have these folders. This complete database will be moved. Now they're saying, okay, you want to move database, you can move that database, and you want to move the log files, you can move. For now we're not moving it, but you can move it. Normally it is in C drive by default, but we never keep this database or transaction log files in C drive. We always keep them in other drives than C drive. So let's create a new database for us. Let's say we need to create a new database for our finance department. Why would you create new databases? Because you need to separate those users database from these, just like we created a database for executives. Why would you create a database for executives, separate database? because guys, if this database is dismounted, crashed, deleted, it will affect all the users inside this database, and you don't want your executives to suffer when the database is not working. So we would create a separate database for executive, and in many companies we would create a separate server for the executives and their database. For now, this executive is sitting on our first server along with this other database. Now I'm gonna create another database for, let's say, my finance department. My finance department needs saying that we need a separate database. So all we need to do, new mailbox database, and then here we're gonna name it finance DB. And now I have the choice of which server do I need to create this database on. So I already have two databases on first server. Now I'm gonna create this on second server. Let's see. So select the second server, create a new database, and then what else you can do next. Here it's saying okay, they're gonna keep that on the same C drive folder, and here guys, this is not a best practice. Now the best practice is that you should have separate drives on your server and keep those databases in separate drives, because if your system drive goes down, it will take down all the databases. So I'll leave that as is, and then I'm gonna add two more disks. I already have two disks here. I can save them here, but just to show you as a student, as a person who's learning, we're gonna create. So you should be doing exactly what I'm doing here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this here, and I'm gonna right click on this on server 2 actually, because this database is being created on server 2. On server 2, go here, go to settings, and then add two disks here. For now there is only one disk, so let's add new disk, and this disk just say hard disk. Next, done. Nothing fancy here. Add a second disk, done, and done. Now two disks are added. As you can see, I've added two new disks here. Now let's make sure they are formatted. We all know, if you don't format them, they don't appear in your computer, so I don't see them here. So in order to format them, all I need to do is to go to, either you can go here, manage, or you can go to administrative tools and go to computer management right here. So go here, go to disk management, and go to here. So these are the two new disks added. First of all, let's make it online, then initialize it, and then format it. So you would say simple, next. You can see I've not made any changes here. Again, online, initialize, and new simple volume, next, done. So now two disks are added. Just to make sure we have the two disks here, so I can now see E drive and F drive. Now let's jump back to, so this I'm gonna use it for, let's say, let me label it. This will be my Mailbox DB drive, and this will be my Mailbox Logs drive. So this is logs, this is DB. So let's go back here. Now when you were creating this database, this is DB file, this is log files. All I want to do is I'll just delete till from here to here, add E here, and call it sign. And same thing, I'm gonna go here because I want to keep this mailbox. I want to keep this mailbox name and rest of the name, and then I need to just change this. So you need to do exactly the same thing. If this is fast, just pause, go back and see that again. Now next, this is creating a new database in server 2. So it is created, finish. Now I can see a new database here. It is sitting on this server. Let's go to properties. It is mounted as well. It is sitting in this place. Let's verify. So you go to server 2, go in here, you would see this, that there is now a database, there is a EDB file, but transaction log files are sitting in that. These are the reserved files, these are not transaction log files. Your transaction log files are basically sitting in this other drive. Okay, so there are no transaction log files. The reason is oh no, I made a quick mistake. I should have said F. So there are no transaction log files there. Now we need to move that. So it's a good example. We'll need to move path. I need to move, can I move this path? I can move this path. I need to move it to F drive, but I won't be able to move it unless it is dismounted. So let's dismount this database. And now go to move. So the wizard will move to a different location, provide the updated database path. Okay, so this is dismounted. Try again. It's not letting me move. Why is it not letting me move? Actually, this won't work because I'm not moving anywhere. Finish. It is dismounted. What else does it need? Can I mount the database? Am I missing something here? Well, it's a completely new database. I can always rebuild it, but then there should be a move. So what I'm gonna do, let me check that out quickly if I can. So I'm gonna say how to move Exchange 2010 DB, and here move the database. You can move the mailbox database path as running database to set a new path for the location to move the database. So that location you're gonna run, and how to move Exchange database to a different here. So it's just saying oh, I need to move it under from the organization. So yes, let's try that out. Not from, I am under organization and I am moving it. It's not giving me that thing. Let's try that again. Database, what is it saying? Launch this organization, move. Here it's saying to mailbox database, different location. Move the database and transaction log file different folder. You can do this exchange via the command prompt. This is a quick and easy way from the brand new. It doesn't contain a lot of mailboxes. Choose move. Okay, I did the same thing. Maybe this is a brand new database, that's why it's just giving me this issue. Let's quickly check that out. I'm gonna spend 2 more minutes on this. So here it's saying database management, move, edit the path. Our database is moved. Okay, so nothing special. I'm doing the same thing. All I can do is I can refresh this all, and here it was mounted, dismounted, and select from here properties, right here move. Okay, it's not moving. Can I move anything else? Okay, I can move everything else. It should be a path like this, but not just this. So maybe this, I've just created this database and I'm not able to move this. at the moment, so I'll just let it stay, and then we're gonna try that again. In any ways, we can create databases like this. Now as a practice, I want to practice. You need to do this. So create 2 DBs on each Exchange server. So server 1. On server 1, you should be creating Toronto DB and Windsor DB. On server 2, create Golf DB and Mississauga DB. And server 3, create Montreal DB and Vancouver DB. Or let's create Montreal Calgary DB. Now why are we creating these databases? Because we want to have different users for each city. So just create these databases. Make sure on each server you have E drive and F drive. So E drive, you will keep all the EDB file. So make sure on each server you have E drive for EDB file and F drive for log files. So guys, this is how we work with databases. I wanted to do just one more thing regarding this database just to show you how to create a mailbox. Let me quickly do that. So this is the new DB I just created. I'll create one because this is empty. It has no mailboxes. I'm gonna go to mailboxes. I'll create a new mailbox. And once you create, I'm creating a user mailbox, new user, and I'm gonna say that this user is finance department user. I can use that existing user as well. Let's say, remember we added that user called Alicia. So this was sitting in their finance department, and this user will be going specially to this database, this one on server 2 that we just created, and done. So once this is done, user is created in that database. Last point will be to make sure if that user is working. All you need to do, go to Outlook Web Access, log in from the current user, open Outlook Web Access, see if that user is working. I'm gonna say canaps / a Shah user is able to log in, and user is able to open his Outlook web app, and then we can send an email to this user himself, A Shah, check name. I'm gonna send an email to administrator as well. administrator, I'm gonna say first email from Asia to administrator, send. So Asia should be able to receive email. Asia received an email, and administrator should be able to receive email as well, which I am logged in. So here administrator received an email. I'll just do a quick reply saying thank you from administrator to here. Let's say you got a reply, and this is that email, the second email, which is this one. So Alicia should said thank you. So guys, thank you as well for watching this video. Do the practice and let me know by comments if you have any questions regarding this. You can do these labs if you have exactly the same lab setup. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.